So the other day, I made a post about rucking. I posted this on various social medias, and I got some good responses. I got some good questions in my private messages, DMs, whatever you want to call them. And folks had some good input. And it was interesting to me that people who actually do a lot of rucking agreed with me. Buying an actual backpack, something designed, purpose-built for rucking by people who have been outfitting folks for hunting, camping, fishing, backpacking, mountain climbing, and all kinds of other adventures. Folks that have been doing that kind of stuff for a very long time have it down. And so when people buy equipment from those folks, surprisingly, it works well, as intended. And when you buy stuff that's like a weight vest or something like that, that's just built for exercise by people who want to exercise for the purpose of exercise, you might not get the best results. And no surprise, this is something I have shared with so many people so many times in different, I don't want to say arenas, but different social circles. I've shared this so many times, and people push back, and it's always the people who don't actually ruck, or they're new to rucking, or they only have rucked for a very short time and then never did it again. And to me, those opinions aren't valid. Like I don't need to hear from somebody who's only been rucking for 3 weeks. I don't need to hear from somebody who rucked for a couple months a few years ago and hasn't done it since then. Like, that opinion is not valid to me. I want to hear from the guys like myself who ruck on a weekly basis. Now, here's where rucking fits into the overall programming. Rucking is a phenomenal substitution or replacement, even better, for just walking. We know walking is probably one of the best rehabilitative movements you can do. After every surgery, what do they tell you to do? When you're in the hospital, you need to get up, you need to get walking, you need to get moving around, get that blood flowing, and this helps you to recover and get the heck out of there so you can get on with your life. Now, the difference between just walking, which we could call low intensity cardio, like zone 1, zone 2, a lot of people have different names for it, but that's basically what it is. It's just low intensity cardio. And it has benefits for health, it has benefits for fat burning, all that good stuff. And it just feels good to get outside and walk around and be able to greet people, be nice to people. I'm not focused on running. I'm not thinking about all the things I'm thinking about when I'm running. So going out for that walk is an enjoyable experience. The benefit of rucking is numerous studies have shown that just wearing a ruck with 20, 30, 40 pounds, whatever you can carry, I wouldn't get too crazy about it. I'm not trying to carry 100 pounds or whatever. I'm just trying to put a little bit of weight in there, maybe test my gear, because I do use the same gear that I use for rucking that I shared with you guys the other day, the Osprey pack. Those same packs, I have several of them. I use them for backpacking, hunting, fishing, hiking, even traveling. If I'm going on a plane, phenomenal carry-on. Very comfortable, very easy to use, and it allows me to multi-purpose this piece of gear. So it's easier to justify spending a couple $100 on a piece of gear when you're going to use it for so many different things, and it's going to last forever. Like, these things don't wear out. Now, you're going to burn, back to the ruck, right? You're going to burn about 3 times the calories rucking weighted walk compared to walking without any weight. It's also going to lead to an additional muscle mass. Your body's going to put on a little bit of muscle just to deal with the weight that you're carrying, which is going to help spike your metabolism a little bit, bump it up some. You're also going to experience some bone density, the increase in bone density, which is really important as athletes age, that we keep that bone density, that we keep that structural integrity. It's also beneficial for your connective tissues and all the other things that come into play to move you from point A to point B under a load. Now, can you get all that with just walking? Maybe, but we definitely can get it from rucking. And rucking is so simple, man. So here's a couple things I would recommend. In addition to getting a dedicated backpack, getting a dedicated bag purpose-built for rucking. That means the weight's going to be distributed. There's going to be a carrier that's going to distribute the weight. There's going to be various straps that you can pull that are going to tighten it up and pull it up onto your shoulders so you keep the weight off your lower back. There's going to be a hip belt to help keep it from bouncing and slamming against your back. That also is important if you decide, like I do on occasion, to do some bear crawls, to do some light jogging, maybe climb something, some step ups, on the park bench, different exercises, anything you can do that I can do to bump my calorie expenditure up a little bit, raise my heart rate a little here and there, just to kind of tax and make it a little more fun. And also just to enjoy movement in the outdoors. And also simulate some of the things that I encounter when I'm out actually on a trail somewhere. There's all kinds of opportunities to climb up and over, like trees fall across the trails on occasion. Sometimes the trails will be washed out and you either have to double back or you have to bushwhack. There's an alternative trail that the trail guys will make for people so they can get around that area. Maybe cross streams, rivers, that kind of thing. So I want to simulate that kind of stuff when I'm out for my ruck so that my body's adapted and ready to go. So having a backpack or a pack that you can cinch up and it keeps the weight evenly distributed across the hip harness places where it attaches, and it doesn't allow it to move, so that if I drop down, do some push-ups, I do some burpees, maybe do some pull-ups, things like that, the weight isn't shifting up onto my back and hit me in the head, which happens when you wear these weighted vests that people love. Different things like that where it's not bouncing against me. The other thing too with a pack, which came up in one of the DMs, was what's it like for breathing? Because I have a hard time breathing when I wear this weighted vest. Well, yeah, of course, because you have weight on your chest and then the attachment points are strapping it in, so it's pulling down on your chest. If you leave it loose so that you can breathe, it ends up flopping around. Yeah, with a backpack, with a dedicated piece of gear made for this purpose, you don't have that. There's no weight on your chest, there's nothing pushing down, there's nothing like restricting your ability to breathe. So you're able to breathe properly and your body's able to function the way that it was meant to function while carrying a load for a distance. Now, how much or how far should you try to ruck when you first start going out there? I would say I would go for maybe a mile to begin with. If you could do a mile at a 20-minute pace, that's not too bad. That's 3 miles in an hour with weight. That's pretty good. Like I would not beat myself up about that. Try to go a little faster over time, of course. You want to have that progression, but the progression can happen in a couple ways. You can go further, which means you're going to bump yourself up and over the hour, 30 minutes to an hour that you want to do this, but that's okay on occasion. Or maybe you like it, man. You're like, hey, I'm going out for 90 minutes, 2 hours. I'm just going to ruck, man. I love this. Cool, especially if you're getting ready for something. If you're getting ready for one of the long distance hikes up the coast or through the center part of the United States or up into the Canadian Rockies, those longer hikes where you're going to be out for hours in altitude and all kinds of other things, you're going to have to be conditioned for that. And I don't just mean your heart and lungs and your musculature. You're going to have to be conditioned as far as your joints, your feet, all that good stuff. Everything's going to have to be calloused up so that you don't have issues when you're out there, because what seems like just a small blister, maybe a blood blister, something like that, you get a decent blister going on your foot out there in the middle of nowhere and there's no help around for any length of time, you could end up in a situation, you could put yourself in a spot where you might need to be medevaced out of there. So you don't want to do that. So do your homework, meaning put your miles in ahead of time, callus that body up, man. Put some calluses on yourself. It'll be good for your soul. And then the other thing you could do is you can add weight to the pack and do the same amount of work in the same amount of time, but with more weight in the pack. So there's a progression there that you can follow. What I would recommend though is no matter what weight you put in the pack, no matter how you do it, wrap it with towels. If you're using dumbbells or kettlebells, I use kettlebells, I wrap them with towels because that way it takes away any hard edges. I have a carrier, so there's a bit of a barrier between my pack and my back with that carrier right there. It's kind of rigid, and so there's a little bit of that spacing there, but still the weight will push in, and if it's bouncing or anything like that, you need to have it wrapped with a towel. Another options are people will use bags of rice, bags of sand, things like that, where you can put 20, 30, 40 pounds in there. It's not going to beat you up, and you can add and subtract from that as you go through it. For clothing, I just wear like jeans, man. Jeans, t-shirt, hoodie, flannel, whatever I'm going to be wearing when I'm out there, that's what I wear because I want to get used to it. Shoes, same. I wear trail shoes, so I wear the Saucony or Hoka trail shoes. I really like those. I have Sorel's hiking boots that I wear as well if I'm going to be in areas where I'm dealing with rivers, streams, that kind of thing, mud. You know, I typically do not go on the trails in the mud during that time of year because it tears up the trails and then ruins it for everybody. So what I'll try to do is stay off of the trails during that time, but occasionally you'll run into a patch where it's just kind of muddy and you don't want to have shoes that are going to let your feet get soaked that time of year. So again, because that's blisters, right? So again, I wear the just normal shoes. I don't go buy boots. I don't wear anything special other than what I'm going to wear on a regular trail hike, you know, just out backpacking or hiking a trail. And those are easily found. I think the Hokas that I have, I can't remember what brand they are, but they have the built-in gaiter, which is important, especially this time of year around here. There's goat's heads everywhere. You get one of those down inside your shoe and you're gonna have a problem. So I like those. So as far as clothing recommendations, just normal stuff, man. Shakeout, it's a perfect shakeout if you're planning a hunt, fishing trip, that kind of thing. Perfect time to shake out the clothes you're gonna wear during that time where you're gonna be packing your way back in. So, but otherwise, if you're not planning a trip, man, just wear regular stuff. Wear a t-shirt, shorts, get out there and get after it. Socks, same. I wear the Feature, so Feetsure, Feature. I wear those socks. Those are really nice. They wick very well, provide a little bit of compression, and that's about it. But I don't do anything crazy. I don't do anything extravagant. I don't go out there like I'm training for boot camp or anything like that. That's just not my thing. That's about it, man. I really don't. Oh, carry your water with you. I do carry, so if I have a bladder, if I'm going to use a bladder in my hike that's coming up or whatever it might be, I'll throw that bladder in there and I'll get used to that thing because you want to shake that out as well. You want to make sure that thing's going to function for you while you're out there. You don't want to be taking your gear off. Once you get it all on, you don't have to take everything off trail side and figure out why this thing isn't working and what's going on, and then also open it and find out, oh man, it was leaking. That's why there's no water. It all ran out into my stuff and now everything's ruined. My food, everything's been soaked. So you want to have the ability to shake everything out before you get out there. So if you're going to use a bladder, then I would do that. If you're going to use water bottles and you're just going to station them on your gear, like I have a place right here on one of my Ospreys where I can just put a water bottle right here and it's easy to reach. I can grab it right here and pull it out. Then now's the time. So I would do that. Keep that with you. That way you can just get used to it. That also adds a little weight to the pack. It also creates a little bit of a distribution issue where you have to get used to how the weight's distributed and how you're going to pack for that kind of thing. So have fun with it, man. Most of all, just have fun. And like I said in one of my social media posts, if you don't have the money to go to an outfitter and have them fit you with a pack, which is what I did. All my packs are fitted to me. So all I have to do is put them on and pull the shoulder straps, just kind of cinch them down over my traps. That's it. Everything else is set. I don't have to touch anything. I just clip the hip buckle together, cinch that down, and I go. If you don't have the money for that, totally understand that. Just grab a backpack, maybe one of your kids' backpacks that they're not using anymore. Wrap some weights, maybe you grab a couple plates from your home gym, or order a couple plates from Amazon, or maybe just grab some bricks from somewhere and just wrap them in a towel, or like I said, a bag of rice from Walmart or someplace like that. It's like $5 for a big old bag of rice. That gives you 10 to 20 pounds to walk with, and to start out, that's not bad. That's a decent amount of weight. Wrap that in a towel, put that in the backpack, put it on, man, and get walking, and just love it. Just enjoy the outdoors and the fresh air, and getting out of the house for a minute and doing something maybe a little different. You might find, like I did, it's really addictive, and you just want to do it as often as possible, as much as possible. And then you might find yourself planning trips all over the country, all over North America and Europe and everywhere else, where you can backpack from point A to point B and just meet all kinds of cool people, eat interesting food, and see interesting places, all powered by you. What a cool feeling. Like, I got there because I just mapped it out and walked it out, man. All right, cool. Check it out, try it out, let me know what you think. You guys have a good one.